Yo, what's up my people? Welcome back to the channel. Kiwami Games here, back at it with another Ice Jade deck. And this time I wanted it to update my Ice Jade deck just because I kind of miss playing some of my old school decks. I know right now everybody's really focusing on the new support from Labyrinth and Jin Raiders and Trap Tricks and all of that. But yeah, I just wanted to revisit this deck and just see how well it performed now that I'm like in a somewhat higher rank. So all of these games were like in Diamond 4, Diamond 3. But yeah, so without further ado, let's just jump right into the replays. Alright, what's up my people? Welcome to our first replay. And in this replay, we are going to go up against Spright. So he activates Emergency Teleport. I am going to negate that. But he's got the starter, so he's going to activate the starter. Special summon in the blue, I believe, if I remember. Yep, then the blue is going to get him the carrot. Alright, then he's got the carrot. Then he's going to special summon the carrot. He's going to go into the sprint. And I'm going to fast forward this a little bit just to save some time. So he is going to be able to go into full Spright combo. Send in the angler. The angler is going to get him the beavers. Using those monsters, he's going to go to the gigantic Spright. Going to get the frogs. Alright. Then he's going to go into the elf. The elf is going to reborn the... well, first the Ronin Tone is going to activate. Going into the IP Masquerena. Then he's going to get the carrot. Alright, and then he also has the Melfi cards in the hand. So, special summons the caddy for follow-up. Alright, so we normal summon Agrin. He's going to activate the caddy. He's going to activate the elf. So the elf is going to get him the blue. And then the caddy is going to send himself back to the hand, searching for a penny. Alright, and then with my Agrin, I search for my Cradle. So the Cradle allows me to search for any Ice Jade monster, as long as I don't have them in the field and the graveyard. So with the Cradle, I'm going to add search for the Cosmoclore. So now we got the 3 cards for the lock. Then I'm going to activate Manifestation. But he's got the Ash Blossom for that. Then he's going to go into the Melfi package. Alright, now with the Melfi cards, he's going to make the Herald of Arclight. Bring it out here, so he's got more negates. So my manifestation gets negated. And then if you don't know, the manifestation allows me to special summon an Ice Jade monster from my deck. So I was going to go for the level 7 tuner so that I can make my level 10 synchro. And then also the manifestation has a second effect that when an Ice Jade monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card, except by being destroyed and doing the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one card your opponent controls and you can banish it. So this is going to come up later, so I just wanted to bring it up to keep in mind. And then now with these 2 monsters, he's going to go into the Mech Knight Crusader Avermax. Alright, now I set down my curse, set down my field spell. He's going to negate the first effect of my field spell, which allows me to add an Ice Jade monster from my graveyard or that is banished. But because he didn't use a link monster, it doesn't get popped. So it still stays on the field. So now I have my Ice Jade Cosmoclore lock active. So with the field spell, I target my Cosmoclore, reducing everything by 1500. And then Cosmoclore has another effect that whenever your Ice Jade monsters battles an opponent monster, that opponent monster loses 1000 attack. So that's how we were able to beat over the Mech Knight Crusader Avermax. And then he cannot activate because he's under the lock. But he can still activate in the graveyard, so he's going to spin back my field. And then the curse is going to be able to burn my opponent for 3000 damage because the Avermax is 3000 attack. Alright, so it's back to our opponent. So not a bad turn 1 for us. Alright, so he's got the follow-ups. And then he's going to go into the Underworld Goddess using my Cosmoclore as material. Okay, then the Underworld Goddess is going to negate everything on the field. And then here, because my Cosmoclore was removed from the field as tribute, now I can banish the manifestation, banishing the Underworld Goddess. But the Underworld Goddess was able to resolve its effect, so right now my Agrin is negated. But we got rid of the Goddess at least. Alright, now he's gonna go into the Spright Elf. And then with the Elf, he's going to bring back the Masquerena. And here I thought he was gonna make another Crusadia, but I forgot that it's in the graveyard. So he goes into the Gigantic instead. And then here, this is funny. This is the first time I see a Spright using mutants with it. So I guess this is what he wanted to use with the E-Telly at the beginning of the duel. So this was just interesting. I've never seen anybody use mutant with Spright before. So this card is going to get him another mutant card. Then he's going to activate the Gamma Burst, boosting everything up. And then here it was like a misplay. He should have attacked my Agrian with the mutant. He would have been able to do more damage that way, but anyways. And then the curse has another effect, is whenever one of my Ice Jade monsters also gets destroyed, it activates and then burns my opponent for that damage. So my Ice Jade is 1000, so he's gonna burn for 1000. Alright, so now it's back to us. And now he's kind of fucked because he left his monster over here with 0 attack in attack position. So here I'm trying to bait that Herald. So that's the one negate that I had to worry about. So I baited it with the Powder of Prosperity because I really need my Deep Sea Diva to resolve. So now I can normal summon the Diva, special summon the Guitar. The Guitar is going to activate banishing cards. Since I have 2 water monsters, so 2 cards get banished. So we banished another mutant and a Ball Drake. And then using these monsters, we're going to make our Coral Anemone. And then Coral Anemone is going to be able to special summon a water monster from our graveyard with 1500 attack or less. So we get our Agrian. The Agrian is going to get me back my field spell. Activate the field spell, and the field spell is going to get me back my Cosmoclore from the graveyard. And then since my field spell is active, I can special summon my Cosmoclore. And now we have the lock once again. And then we're going to burn them for 1600. Alright, and that was Spright. Ice Jades, let's get it. Alright, my people, welcome to our next game. And in this one, we're going to go up against Naturia Runick. So he's going to normal summon the Cricket. Cricket is going to send itself to the graveyard so he can special summon the Camellia. I'm going to imperm the Camellia because the Camellia can send, a Sacred Tree to the graveyard, which can then get him a blessing. But now he's going to activate the Slumber. He's going to get his Hugin or Hugin. Okay, the Hugin is going to discard the Maxi to get himself a Fountain. Alright, he's going to activate the Fountain. And then he ends his turn. Alright, so we draw into our Tremora. So I activate Tremora. And the reason why I activate Tremora is because I like having her in the graveyard. Because her graveyard effect does pop up a lot of times. So her graveyard effect is if a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, special summon one Ice Jade monster from your hand or graveyard. So it does come up a lot, so I do like having her in the graveyard. Alright, he's going to hit me with the Maxi, so we special summon our Agrian, which is our starter. Oh no, sorry, I special summon the Cosmoclore, and then I normal summon the Agrian. Okay, then the Naturia Cricket is going to send itself to the graveyard to special summon monsters, and then because my monsters have the highest attack, he's able to special summon 2 Naturia monsters. So he gets the Vayne. The Vayne has an effect when your opponent activates a spell or trap card. You can tribute 1 Naturia monsters from, and you can just negate the activation. And then the Camellia has a second effect that whenever one of the Naturia monsters activate an effect, he can send 2 cards from the top of the deck instead. So he can pretty much have 2 Naturia negates. Alright. Then he's going to activate Runick Dispelling, which is going to pretty much discard a random card from my hand. So he ends up discarding my Ice Jade Cradle. And he banishes Ghost Bell and one of my field spell. Alright, then the Camellia is going to send the Sacred Tree. So now I go into the battle because I want to activate my manifestation. So I need to get rid of this Vayne. And then I attack also his second Camellia. Alright, so now I can activate manifestation. We're going to get the level 7 tuner. And with the level 7 and the level 3, we're going to make our boss monster. Alright, then he's going to activate the Mole Cricket in the graveyard. But I'm going to activate the Agrin's effect, and her effect is you can activate this effect. Face-up monsters you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's card effects. Then if you activated this card in response to your opponent's card effect, you can banish those cards. So I can banish the Mole Cricket from the graveyard. And then I'm going to activate the level 7's effect to attach itself to the Agrin. And then this card right here is going to give my Agrin a damage boost for every banished card, for every banished monster. It's going to give it about 100 if I remember correctly. No, 400 attack and defense for every banished monster. Alright, he's going to activate Smite and Storm. Banish some more cards. So he banished Pot of Prosperity, he banished Imperm. And then here he activates the Fountain. So I'm going to activate my Great Mirror. Going to banish the Fountain, so it's going to prevent him from drawing any cards. And right now my monsters are free from being banished or destroyed by card effects. Okay, so he's going to special summon the Huggin. He's going to try to get his field spell once again, so he's going to discard the Sunflower, get in the Fountain, activating the Fountain, activating the Blessing. The Blessing is going to special summon the Camellia. The Camellia is going to send the Sacred Tree again. The Sacred Tree is going to get him the Mole Cricket. Alright, and then he's going to go into the Coral Dragon. So the Coral Dragon has the ability to pop a card on the field, but like I said, my monsters are protected from pop or banished, so he's going to have to pop my equipped card. So I don't know if he read, or I don't think that was intentional. Okay, and then it's like nothing happened because this card I can attach it once per turn to any monster, to any of my Ice Jade monsters, so yeah. And then it's probably too much for him, so he just gives up. But Naturia Runick, it's quite a powerful deck. I'm actually surprised that I don't see this deck in the ladder too often. I don't know, I mean, we're in Diamond 4th, so I don't know. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Alright guys, welcome to our next replay. And this time we're going to go up against Runick once again. So we activate Pot of Prosperity. I'm just going to banish 3. So I banish my Synchro, my Aegir, and my Unicorn. And then I get my Deep Sea Diva. I activate Cradle, search for the Agrin. Okay, so now I normal summon Agrin. Get our field spell. And now we have the lock. So we got the field spell, we got the curse, and we got Cosmoclore. Alright, unfortunately we don't have any hand traps or negates, but let's see. Okay, so our opponent is going to activate Dimensional Fissure. Then he's going to activate Runick Dispelling, special summoning the new monster that they have, the Fenrir, Freaky, whatever it is, Freaky. Okay, then he's going to activate Flash and Fire, targeting my Cosmoclore. Okay, banishing it and banishing some cards off the top of my deck. Then he's going to attack into Agrin, but I use Agrin's effect, special summoning the Yamato, so I can protect my Agrin for a turn. Okay, then I'm gonna normal summon Deep Sea Diva, get the guitar, activate the guitar, but our opponent's gonna activate the Flash and Fire. It's gonna destroy my guitar, but I still get to banish cards off of the top of his deck. So we banish 2 golden droplets, and then we set Infinite Impermanence and pass turn. Alright, and because he activated a Runick card, he cannot attack. Okay, so we activate our manifestation. We get our level 7. I'm gonna activate the field spell, reducing this, trying to reduce this monster by 2000 attack so that I can attack into it, but he's gonna activate Flash and Fire, which is going to target my creation. But if I let him destroy my creation, it's gonna get banished, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna activate Infinite Impermanence so that I can negate the Dimensional Fissure for this turn, so that my level 7 doesn't get negated, because I'm really gonna need it. Alright, so now I can activate his Graveyard effect, attaching it to the Agrin, giving the Agrin a damage boost. This card is negated, so he cannot activate it now, but he can still activate the Graveyard effect, which is gonna be able to add himself a Runick card from the graveyard to the hand. So he adds the Runick Flash and Fire. My curse is going to activate. He's going to burn for 2000 damage. Alright, and then using these 2 monsters, I'm going to make a Coral Anemone. And then with Coral Anemone, I'm going to bring back my Agrin. And then the Agrin is going to allow me to get me another field spell. So now I activate the field spell, bring it back the Cosmoclaw that is banished to my hand. Alright, and then we pass turn. Alright, so he sets that one and pass. I'm going to activate my creation to attach back into the Agrin, but he's going to activate the Golden Droplet, special summoning the Gary. I'm going to activate the Cradle, getting my second Cosmoclaw. He's going to activate Flash and Fire, attacking my Coral Anemone. Okay, then we special summon our Cosmoclaw, and then the creation has a second effect that you can pretty much special summon this card from when it's attached to a monster. You can kind of detach itself and special summon it into the field, so it can special summon itself. So we can go into our level 10. So we make our Gimir. Alright, and then before I attack, I activate Gimir's effect, which is going to protect my monsters from being destroyed or banished. And the reason I do this is because the Gary has the effect that when it is destroyed, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. So I don't want him popping any of my monsters. So it's going to force him to pop my curse instead. Alright, and then we attack him for 3,000. Okay, then he's going to activate Runick's Might and Storm. And then here, I kind of went a little ahead of myself. I could have waited, but I was just being cautious. I didn't want my monsters to get popped or negated. But since I saw he was going to special summon the Huggin, I felt like I should have waited, because now I could have banished the Huggin once she activated, searching for the field spell. And then he's going to activate, what is this, 1 day appease or something like that, I think it is. Yeah, 1 day appease, but he's going to try to prevent me from attacking. And then that's all he wrote. Alright, and that was Runick. Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the next replay. And this time we're going to go up against a big actor, but this is going to be a very short replay. So we activate Pot of Prosperity. I banish 3. He's going to hit me with the Maxi. Alright, and then we get Ash Blossom, Cradle, Agrin. So we get the Cradle. Okay, then I'm going to activate Triple Tactus Talent, and I'm going to check his hand. And the reason why I check his hand is because I don't want my Agrin to be negated, because I have almost my lock. I can get my lock if Agrin doesn't get negated. So we see we're playing against a Biz Actor, so I'm going to send the Dress Rehearsal back to the deck, because this card allows them to search for 2 cards. So we spin back, and then we can activate the Cradle. The Cradle is going to get me my Cosmoclaw, and now with the Agrin I can get the field spell, and now we have our lock. So we set the curse, set the field spell, special summon Cosmoclaw, and now our opponent cannot activate any monster effects. Alright, so he's going to normal summon the tour. He's going to set the extras into the Pendulum Zone, special summon it. Then he's going to special summon the Comic Relief. Then he's going to go into the DDD. But he cannot activate anything, so he's just going to give up. And then that's just the Cosmo Lock in a sense. In a nutshell, if you will. Alright, my people, welcome back. And in this replay, we're going to go up against Tearlaments. And this is going to be a very short game. So we're going first. We're going to activate the Agrin. He's going to hit us with the Ash Blossom. But now, because he has a monster on the graveyard or a monster on the field, I can activate my Manifestation. So with the Manifestation, I can special summon the level 7 Tuner. Alright, and then with these 2 monsters, we're going to go into our Ice Jade Gimir. Agrin. Alright, and then we're going to attach the creation to the Gimir, set Infinite Impermanence. Alright, he's going to Infinite Impermanence the Ice Jade, but I'm going to activate the effect. Even though it's negated, I was trying to test to see if it will still be able to get popped or banished, even though it's negated. So he's going to activate the Sharon. I'm going to Ash Blossom that. Alright, and then he's gonna activate the Merly, but I got the Infinite Impermanence, so no milling for you today. And then that's all he wrote. He's just gonna concede. That's like the easiest. That was the easiest Tearlaments game ever. Alright, let's move on to the deck list. Alright everybody, welcome to the deck list. Thank you all so much for sticking out with me if you made it this far into the video. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So we have one Yamatako Orochi. This is a level 1 tuner, but it can also be treated as a level 8 tuner. And whatever monster we use as synchro, that monster, if it's level 8 or lower, will gain 800 attack, and if it's level 9 or higher, it will gain piercing damage. Then we have 3 Deep Sea Diva. So this card, when it's normal summoned, you can special summon your guitar. And then the guitar, when it's special summoned, you can banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck equal to the number of water monsters you control. So these two cards have really great synergy. And then the guitar has the second effect that you can target a water monster and then you can increase its level by its original level. So with the Deep Sea Diva and the guitar, you can make the decision whether you want to go into your level 7 synchro monsters or your level 8. Because if you target the guitar, it will become a level 6, and then 6 and 2 is going to be 8. And if you target the Deep Sea Diva, it will become a level 4. So level 4 and level 3 makes a level 7. And then the level 7 is going to be your Prima Donna. So the Prima Donna is going to be able to get you your Agrin. And then the Prima Donna and the Agrin together is going to be able to get you any of your level 10 synchro monsters. So that's kind of like the synergy and combo with these 3 cards. And we run 3 maxis because we really need to draw so that we can get our curse and our Cosmoclore and our field spell as quickly as possible so that we can lock our opponent from monster effects. Then we have 3 Ash Blossoms, and we have 1 Ghost Bell. Then we have 3 Agrin. This is our starter. Then we have 1 Silent Angler. I use this card because it can special summon itself from the hand, so it can serve as an extender. Then we have 2 Tremora. So this card, you can discard it from your hand to the graveyard, and then you can special summon 1 water monster from your hand. Also, if a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, then while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then you can special summon 1 Ice Jade monster from your hand or graveyard. So it's a great way to get your resources back onto the field. And then we have 2 Ice Jade Creation and Gyro cases. So this is our level 7 tuner, and this card, it can equip itself to an Ice Jade monster, and then that monster will gain 400 attack and defense for each banished monster. And then also it can detach itself from an Ice Jade monster and special summon itself onto the field so that you can kind of go into your level 10 synchro plays. And then we have 1 Ice Jade Kingfisher. So this card kind of does the same as the creation. The only thing is that whatever monster this card attaches itself to, it can attack while in defense position. So we only run 1 because you're always going to attach this card to the Cosmoclore, because the Cosmoclore has a 3000 defense. So with this card and the Kingfisher, you pretty much have a 3000 body on the field. And then we have Harpy's Feather Duster, because this deck can struggle against back row reliant decks, so we really need to get rid of those back rows. And then we run 1 Triple Tactus Talon. It's a very versatile card in this deck. If we need to draw, we can draw. Then we have 1 Pot of Prosperity. So this card right here is great because if we have a brick 10, you know, we can always banish some cards, and then whatever card we banish, we can sometimes bring it back with the field spell, because the field spell allows you to add one of your Ice Jade monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. So sometimes I banish maybe only 1 of these copies, and then I usually banish the Unicorn because I don't go into it a whole lot. And then depending on the situation, I may banish this card right here as well. Then after that, we have 2 Ice Jade Cradle. So this card is not once per turn, so you can add an Ice Jade monster from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards that you control or in your graveyard. So it's a really good extender, and it's not once per turn, so you can pop both of them in 1 turn. And then we run 2 Manifestation. So if you control a water monster and your opponent has a monster on the field or a graveyard, then you can take 1 Ice Jade monster from your deck, and then you can either send it to the graveyard or special summon it. So I always use this card to special summon the level 7 tuner so that we can go into our level 10 synchro plays. Then we got 2 of the field spell. So the field spell, as I mentioned, you can add an Ice Jade monster that is banished or in your graveyard. Also, when a monster is normal or special summoned, you can target one of your water monsters, and then you can reduce that monster's attack, and then it will reduce every other monster that your opponent controls by the same attack power. And then we have 2 Ice Jade curves. So whenever a monster is destroyed by our Ice Jade monster, we can burn the opponent equivalent to that monster's attack. And then also, if one of our Ice Jade monster gets destroyed, we can also burn the opponent based off of that monster's attack. So it's a great way to kind of, you know, OTK or to pretty much clear matches. But also it's needed for the lock, because while an Ice Jade monster and the field spell is on the field, then your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters that were summoned that turn. And then we have 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Evenly Matched, 2 Infinite Permanents, and 1 Ice Jade Erosion. This is kind of like an Omni Negate, so this card right here is great. If you ever get evenly matched or anything like that, this card can negate it. And then for the extra deck, we have 1 Egyptian God Slime, we have 1 Prima Donna, 1 Stardust Dragon to just help protect our back rows, 1 Draco, 1 Adamascipator to also help protect our back row. And we have 1 Stardust Synchro Dragon, we have 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Chang Ying, 2 Ice Jade Gamir Agrian, 1 Psychic and Punisher, 1 Coral Anemone, 1 Masquerina, 1 Unicorn, and 1 World Z Zelantis. And yep, that's pretty much an updated deck list for my Ice Jade deck. So if you enjoyed today's video, then please consider dropping a like, subscribe to the channel. It will help me out and it will help the channel out a lot. Thank you all so much. Any question, comments, or concerns that you may have, leave it in the comment down below. This was Ice Jade, Kiwami Games. Peace out.